1 seed and the number 1 team in the state of West Virginia, and that comes in the form of the Man Hillbillies. These two teams met week before, or actually last week, on the floor at Man High School, and the Hillbillies won that game by a score of 96-50. So the Sherman Tide has actually regrouped and going with a little bit different starting lineup tonight. So we'll have to see what Coach Aaron Pauley and his Sherman Tide from Boone County can muster up to take on the Man Hillbillies. The Hillbillies are 11-1. Only loss on the season was to the Logan Wildcats in a 68-63 battle here in Willie Akers Arena. The Man Hillbillies come in at 11-1. Sherman comes into tonight's game with a record of 6-4. That is after losing to Man a week ago and then picking up the win on Saturday over the Man Bulldogs. We'll go ahead and step aside and take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back with more from Willie Akers Arena as both teams are on the floor warming up. Tonight's game, Man Hillbilly basketball, is on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports station and video productions.
Our world has changed a lot in a short time, but your health and safety remains our #1 priority. We have the supplies needed and processes in place to keep you safe. We've implemented visitor restrictions, and we are reducing physical contact as much as possible. Patients and employees are required to wear masks for your protection and theirs. And your care team is screened daily. So don't wait to get the care that you need. Logan Regional Medical Center, always here for you.
Peyton, what are we doing here?
Welcome to Peytonville. Nationwide helps protect everything you see in here, Brad. Every family, every business, even Mrs. Hoffman's dream of retiring to become a yoga instructor.
Oh, they have backstories.
Here, I got more to show you.
Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services, founded in 1975 by Riley Joe Evans, is a full-service funeral provider, and 2020 makes it 45 years of offering services that respect all faiths, personal preferences, and financial considerations. They're the only funeral home in Boone, Lincoln, and Logan with its own crematory. Contact Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 304-855-3232 or visit www.evans-funeral-home.com or like Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services on Facebook to see their updated obituary information.
Welcome back to Willie Akers Arena for this Class AA sectional game between the #1 rated Man Hillbillies. And of course, they're also the #1 seed in the section, and they'll be taking on the #4 seed, the Sherman Tide, who knocked off the #5 seed Van on Friday night. Now let's bring in the rest of our crew for tonight's game. Chris Kidd, and have you had a chance to catch your breath?
A little bit, yeah. Again, sorry everyone. Our tennis team, I coach tennis down in Chapmanville, and I was trying to stay as long as I could for a match against Herbert Hoover. And we had one come down to the end that we won, and then I raced out of there and got up here as fast as I could. So
I don't see no cops, Jason. You say you did all right.
Oh, thankfully. But yeah, I mean, I was here on Saturday night to watch the Sherman game against Van. Again, Sherman able to win that game, going away 69-34. And you know, this is a Sherman team that's got a lot of talent on their squad. Again, Dalton Rollo, Logan Green, AJ Skeens, Alex Kirk. I mean, they've got inside presence and outside presence. Going to be really difficult trying to match up against this Man team that likes to get up and down the way that they do. But this is a Sherman club that did show a lot of athleticism. They didn't get to play in the regular season, so it'll be an interesting matchup here tonight to see how these two teams stack up.
for man, they are just so quick. I mean, as soon as the other team scores or they get the rebound, I mean, within a blink of an eye, they're already down the floor and got their plays set and ready to go. So the speed and the athleticism of the Man Hillbillies is really going to be hard to beat in this section. And you've got three really good teams in this section. You'll have a great game in the next one, Tug Valley and Tulsa. It was a single-point game when they played earlier in the season. And honestly, in my opinion, you're going to have a team get knocked out of the sectionals that probably deserves to go to Charleston.
I agree, and that's what's tough some years whenever you run into these monster sections. We've seen it several times over the years where you have 2 or 3 top 10 teams in it and somebody gets knocked out, and that's going to be the case in our second game for certain. Again, Tug Valley and Tulsa have been in the top 10 in single A all year. They only played once during the regular season, 87-72 in favor of Tug Valley, but that'll be an up and down, back and forth scoring fest between those two ball clubs. And that's the thing, you've got 3 of the highest scoring teams in single A all right here in this section, and combined have only lost 6 games all year long, and part of that is just beating each other.
And if you got your encyclopedia
from
Bill Lusk, I mean, literally, the guy's got an encyclopedia of Man Hillbilly basketball. But anyway, like you said, Saturday night was the kickoff, and tonight you've got a good crowd on hand here in Willie Acres Arena, because you've got not only this first game, but like I said, this second game as well, and it's going to be an exciting evening of basketball here on WVOW and Video Productions.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to this. Again, it's going to be a long week, but a fun week with single A, double A, and triple A all across the board. I'm working every night. I figure you are too at this point, so we're going to be with it all the way through, and we're excited to bring you the girls' game tomorrow night with Logan against Winfield, and then Wednesday you'll be in Scott. I'll be here at Logan, so we'll split the duties there. Thursday we'll have the single A championship in this region, and then Friday it'll be Chapmanville's sectional final and Logan's sectional final possibly. So it's going to be very interesting just to see how everyone comes out of this, and then whoever comes out of this dust storm will end up meeting in the regionals next week.
Exactly. So, and that's why they play it. Normally this is March Madness, and we were talking on the show Saturday morning. They've not come up with a good name for this April high school or, playoff system that we're in. So anyway, if anybody's got any good suggestions, send them to us.
Yeah, type them in. We'll see if we go with one here on Video Productions tonight.
Anyway, we've got a couple minutes before the start of tonight's ball game. We'll go ahead and take our 2-minute break, and we'll be back with the starting lineups for tonight's ball game after this. You're listening to Man High School Hillbilly Basketball on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports station and Video Productions.
Superstore is your full-service Buick, Chevy, and GMC dealer. Go Thornhill and expect the best with total value, service, and pricing on your next ride. Home of the Thornhill 10120. You'll get total support with Thornhill GM Superstore.
Kinzel Law Office is a local firm located at 36 Adams Street in Chapmanville. Rob Kinzel has been practicing law in Logan County for over 15 years and is dedicated to providing quality legal representation for personal injury, criminal defense, and family law for individuals and families throughout southern West Virginia. Call Kinzel Law Office today to set up your free consultation. Rob Kinzel, quality legal services close to home.
Peyton, what are we doing here?
Welcome to Peytonville. Nationwide helps protect everything you see in here, Brad. Every family, every business, even Mrs. Hoffman's dream of retiring to become a yoga instructor.
Oh, they have backstories.
Here, I got more to show you.
You can breathe easier at Boone Memorial Hospital, now with pulmonologist Dr. Richard McNeely. Come see us if you have concerns about your breathing issues.
And welcome back to Willie Acres Arena. The two clubs are warmed up and ready to get this Class Single A Region 4 Section
Uno
1. Yeah, it seems like all the other AA and the AAA schools are in Section 2, but this one's Section 1. Way they've got these reclassifications, it's still hard to kind of track some of these teams. So,
oh boy, is it?
Yeah. So now we're going to go to the National Anthem. So. Let's go ahead. We'll just keep it here and pay homage to our country. Oh, say, can you see my glittering eye? What so proudly we hailed, and the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night, o'er the ramparts we watched, where so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red flag no bursting there, gayly proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and gold of the brave. And our national anthem being sung here at the Willie Acres Arena. Now let's take a look at the starting lineups. We'll go ahead and take a look at the starting lineup for the Sherman Tide. Starting wearing number 5, a freshman, Andrew Simpson. A sophomore, number 4, A.J. Schemes. Logan Green comes in at a 5'6" junior. He'll get the start tonight, as well as Alex Kirk, wearing number 10. He's a 5'9" senior. And Dalton Rollo, the star of the team. I don't want to say the star, but he's the key factor in this Sherman Tide success. He's a 6-foot junior. Now taking a look at the starting lineup for the Man Hillbillies will be 6'2" junior Jackson Tackett. Caleb Blevins, 6'4" junior. Austin Ball, 6'7" junior. Ryan Cozart, 6'4" senior. And Peyton Adams, a 5'9" senior. So that's the starting lineups for tonight's team. The head coach of the Sherman Tide is Andrew Parley. They come into tonight's game with a 6-4 record. And the Man Hillbillies come into tonight's contest with a 11-1 record. Their only loss on the season is that close game that they lost to the Logan Wildcats here in Willie Acres Arena earlier in the season.
And again, overall on the year, Joe, averaging points per game, Sherman averaging 59.8 points per game, Man averaging 79.9 points per game, up from 66.4 last year. And on the defensive side, Sherman allowing 61.3 points per game, Man allowing just 50.2 points per game. The lowest point total that Man had this year was the 63 points they had against Logan. But if you look at the dominance of this Hillbilly team, Joe, every win this year was by double digits. All 11 wins were. The closest was an 11-point win over Buffalo. 10 of their 11 wins were by 20 points or more, and 5 of them were by 30 points or more. The largest win they had was a 71-point win over Calhoun County. So talk about steep hills to climb. The Sherman Tide have definitely got an Everest to try and work their way up tonight.
Sherman wearing the maroon uniforms, white numerals outlined in maroon or in the gold with gold rolled tide across the chest. Man wearing those white jerseys, red numerals trimmed in their blue color scheme. Now we are set with Man across the chest. Sherman will inbound. They're the visiting team. They'll take it to the backcourt. It will be Logan Green controlling the ball. They find Rollo under the basket. He'll kick it back out to the left wing. Now they take it back out to the top of the key to Kirk. Kirk stands, no pressure. Kirk looking. He just standing there holding the ball. Now he fires it across the way to Logan. or actually Logan Green. Now man brings out the defense a little bit, forcing man over to Simpson. Simpson hands it off to Rollo. Rollo back out to midcourt to Alex Kirk.
And they're going to try and slow this game down big time here, Joe, if they can.
Now man comes out and puts on the pressure. Now they try to find somebody open. They're just going to keep it in the backcourt. And you're exactly right. That's going to be the game plan for Sherman tonight. And that's just hang on to the ball. In the backcourt is Simpson. Now they kick it back over to Rollo over the far wing. Almost stolen by man. Now they get it to Green under the basket. He'll get it to Rollo. They'll kick it back out, and it is, they got a little bump over there in front of the man bench, and they went out of bounds, so the turnover goes to the man Hillbillies.
And again, Sherman, I was wrong. Again, we didn't have the score update last time, but it was 96-50 in the regular season just last week, so obviously Sherman not wanting to get in an up-and-down game with this high-scoring Hillbilly club.
Here come the Hillbillies quickly down the floor. Blevins over. Now they find under the basket Austin Ball. He'll put it up for a quick two. So the Hillbillies go on the board first in this contest.
And again, caught that with his fingertips, still had enough agility and enough of a palm on it to get that on a reverse layup.
Green brings the ball down the floor for Sherman. He'll go one-on-one with Peyton Adams. Now it's blocked away and it's picked up by Sherman. Kirk hangs on to it, gets it to Rollo. Rollo will come back out near the mid-court line. Now they'll kick it back into the wing. At the free throw line, they're just passing the ball in the backcourt. They're not making any attempt at all to try to go to the basket.
Yeah, they had a couple of good looks in the first two possessions, but decided not against it.
Now the Hillbillies come out and put the pressure on. Hillbillies steal it. Austin Payton over to Caleb Blevins. Blevins off the glass. The basket's good, and we have a block.
And Blevins shaken up a little after that, but appears to be okay. But that was a great move off of the steal, getting over on that right side, making himself available, and able to finish even with a man right there in his face.
Here's the replay on Video Productions. They just could not handle the man pressure, and easily Caleb Blevins comes up and puts it off the glass for two.
Yeah, Peyton Adams was the one that was able to get in there and make that steal.
Yeah. Blevins misses the free throw. Sherman comes up with the rebound. In the backcourt once again, it is Green. Get it over to Rollo in the left corner. Man, they thought about it. He was wide open, had the lane open. Alex Kirk did, and he did not take it. Peyton Adams comes out, puts some pressure on. Now they go to the basket, and it rolls over off the fingertips of Alex Kirk. And Sherman is on the board. It's 4-2 man.
Yeah, and I like the ideas there, but yeah, if they've got the lanes, they're going to have to take the opportunities.
Three-point attempt by Blevins will be off the back of the iron. Rebound comes down to, here goes, and a long three-point shot taken by Peyton Adams. It will not go, and they call him for traveling.
That's right there, man. Starting to try and push the pressure this game a lot more, taking a quick shot off of the inbounds there, able to get the offensive boards. And I think man feels pretty comfortable with their ability to get second and third chance points. Again, this is an undersized Sherman team compared to the Hillbillies.
Man puts the pressure on in the backcourt now. Rollo with the ball out near the timeline. He'll get it over to Kirk. Kirk goes one-on-one with the Billies, and he'll kick it back out to Rollo. Rollo under pressure. He gets around two defenders, and he just dribbles it around in the backcourt. Now he sees the lane open. Bounce passes. Oh, and it's blocked on the way up. A.J. Skeens taking a shot at the basket, but it's blocked. Here come the Hillbillies quickly down the floor. Caleb Blevins has it, stops at the charity stripe, kicks it over the way to Tackett. Tackett will fire off a three-point shot.
And again, Tackett has that range. A 6'2 junior, you think of him as really the cleanup man underneath for the Hillbillies, but he's shown that he can knock down outside jumpers with the best of these Hillbillies.
Man pinned in the backcourt, but they get around it. It'll be Green with the ball. He'll bounce pass it over to Skeens. Skeens brings it back out to Rollo at the right wing. Now Rollo will back out all the way near half court. He'll go one-on-one with Austin Ball. Now he's got Blevins and Ball. He's pinned. He gets the ball. It's deflected. Sherman somehow comes up with it. Here goes Logan Green. Now he'll bounce pass over to Simpson. They'll kick it back out to Rollo. Rollo goes off the glass and somehow made that basket go.
And that's a good move there by Rollo. Again, he saw that he had a little bit of a step, was able to use that pivot foot to push off and get to the basket, and he was so effective at that on Saturday night against Van. And he can really get himself going. He's got a lot of agility and a lot of good moves down low, so he could cause a lot of problems if he gets into some free space.
3:52 to go in the first period. Man leads it by a score of 7-4. We have a 30-second timeout on the floor as respective coaches for both teams want to huddle up and kind of regroup, as Sherman is doing all they can do to slow down the pace of this ball game.
Yeah, and so far, I think if you're Coach Paula, you absolutely love the way that this has started. Even though you're down 7-4, you're right in this ball game. Again, you didn't have an opening salvo from the Hillbillies, like what we've seen a lot of teams suffer against them, where man just comes out and blitzes them from the very get-go. And Sherman, that's the key. They just want to stay close, keep this within 10, and keep themselves alive going into the second half.
But you still got to take those wide-open shots, especially when they're in the lane.
Absolutely.
Here come the Billies, and a fire off. Blevins fires off one off the back of the iron. Rebound by A.J. Skeens for Sherman. Here comes Kirk with the ball across the midcourt. And they throw it over. It's a Hail Mary pass down under the basket to A.J. Skeens. He cannot, it's beyond his reach. It's off his fingertips, out of bounds. Turnover goes to Man.
And I still like the way that Sherman's controlled the ball here on this end. Man's applied a lot of pressure. Sherman's only turned it over twice here in the early going, so I like the way they've been able to sustain themselves.
Jeremiah Harless into the lineup for Man. Kicks it over to Tackett, back to Harless. Harless goes into the paint. He'll float one up off the back of the iron. Rebound, Sherman.
That was a strong rebound there again. Green was undersized, but got it.
Oh, what a block shot by Jeremiah Harless, as Logan Green tried to put up a reverse layup, and there was no chance that was going in.
And that's the thing, man. I mean, Sherman looks like they've got some openings, but Man just has such great closing speed. I thought he had the opportunity to get that up pretty easily, and here comes Harless flying in from the chandeliers for that block.
Sherman has it in the backcourt. Kirk now has it. He'll go 1-on-2 with Peyton Adams. Rollo has it. Now they kick it back over to the near side to Green. Green takes a bounce, and to Simpson. Back out to Kirk near half court. He'll dribble in. He'll meet some pressure by the Billies. Now they go down to the right sideline to Skeens, and it is, he tries to make a pass. It's deflected out of bounds by the Billies.
And if Sherman's going to continue with this keep away offense, they got to keep it out of the corners like that. Man can come over and trap, double and triple team, and with their size, it's going to be hard to find a passing lane.
Simpson over to Skeens. Skeens finds an open hole. He goes to the basket off the green, off the backboard rather. 2 points for Skeens. It's now 7-6. Man, 2:25 to go in the quarter.
He had 8 the other night against Van. He's got a lot of explosibility off that first step.
Down to the corner, Caleb Blevins wide open under the basket. A quick jump, and he has 2 more.
And I like that move there from Man again. They settled for a couple outside shots, which they love to do, but they've got the size advantage. Pound it down low right now, be able to get some easy twos out of it.
Rollo to Green to Kirk, over to the far side to Skeens. Now they get it up, a little jumper by Alex Kirk, and he has his second basket of the game. We still have a 1-point game, 9-8 Man.
He knocked down 3 threes in the first quarter against Van the other night.
Jeremiah Harless was in the far corner getting ready to fire off a 3, and he just moved that foot just a hair too quick. And the turnover on traveling will go to Sherman.
Well, this is a pseudo away game for the Hillbillies right now, because the only people for them in this building are their fans. The Tug Valley and Tulsa people are really getting behind Sherman right now.
Absolutely. Green has it in the backcourt. He'll fire it over to Rollo. Rollo into some trouble. Now he gets it back to Kirk as Man moves their defense over. And they're stuck in the corner, and it is stolen by the Hillbillies. Here comes Jackson Tackett, and it is kicked over to the far side to Austin Ball off the iron. Rebound, Alex Curtin to Tide.
Again, still settling for these outside shots, or Man, again, instead of trying to get down low on the blocks against this Sherman team.
Rollo back to Kirk, back to Rollo. Rollo's got some pressure, and it is stolen. Now it's still floating around now. Man comes up with it off the glass for a quick basket. Will be Austin Ball, and that'll be his second basket of the game for the Hillbillies.
And now you see Man being more active with their hands on the defensive side of the ball, really getting after these ball handlers of Sherman.
Sherman has the ball in the backcourt, 44 seconds on the first quarter clock. Man up by 3. Rollo down to the corner. Simpson in trouble, gets it back out to Rolo. Rolo finds a man under the basket open. They kick it back out. Now it is blocked, but a whistle, and that foul's going to be charged against Jackson Tackett. That'll be his first, team first.
He thought he got that one clean, but Simpson, he's another one. He's a little tricky because you see the kid, again, he's undersized, but at the same time, he's another one that's got so much quickness to him, and right there was able to get around Tackett. Tackett made a good job of getting back and getting in position to make that block, but Simpson was able to gain the position.
Simpson's a freshman. I think maybe even getting his first start tonight. His first free throw is good. He'll get a second.
Yeah, he played a good game against Van the other night. He had 6 points, but really controlled the offense very well.
Takes a couple warm-up dribbles. Shot is up, and it is good as well. 11-10, a one-point ball game, 30 seconds to go in the quarter. Here come the Billies. Blevins brings the ball across midcourt, fires it across the way to Harless. Harless back out to Blevins. Blevins dribbles into the paint. Little floater off the front of the iron will not go. Rebound, Sherman's A.J. Skeens. Now they have in the backcourt. Here comes Logan Green. We'll slow the pace down, 10 seconds. Now the defense for the Hillbillies come out. Now they get it over to Kirk. Kirk takes a couple dribbles, gets it over to the corner. Now they bounce pants it in. They're going to run out of time. Rolo will take the jumper off the glass, and at the buzzer, the Sherman Tide will take a 12-11 lead.
Wow, what an opening 8 minutes for this Tide club, and this could be one that stays tight for a while.
We'll go ahead and step aside at the end of the first quarter. Sherman 12, Man 11. You're listening and watching Man Hillbilly Basketball on WVO.
Is Boone Memorial Hospital. Compassionate, personal, quality care that's close to home with caring, skilled physicians and large private inpatient rooms.
Boone Memorial Hospital, bringing medicine home.
The road to total savings starts here. Thornhill GM Superstore. Find new roads to 119 in Chapmanville, your hometown full-service Buick, Chevy, GMC dealer. We are professional grade and community strong.
Man will inbound it to start the second quarter of action. Caleb Blevins has it in the backcourt. Peyton Adams comes out to help. Now they get it into Tackett. Now they'll kick it back across the way to Harless. Harless in the wing. He'll bounce it into the paint. He'll go into the air, and there'll be a blocking foul charged against Sherman.
I think they get that one on Rolo. And thus far, a clean game in this contest. Again, only one team foul against both. But I see what Sherman's doing whenever man gets the ball down low. They're collapsing 2 and 3 men down there. So it looks like they're willing to live and die with man from the outside. And that's probably the best strategy for Coach Pauly.
Jeremiah Harless at the free throw line. He'll miss the first. You just tuned in. Sherman leads this one by a score of 12-11 as we begin the second quarter of action. Sherman playing a very conservative basketball game, slow-paced game, as Harless's second free throw goes, and we're all tied up at 12. Tide has it in the backcourt. Now they get it to Green. Green back over to Rolo. Rolo finds double pressure from the Hillbillies. He's in trouble. He finally gets it out. Gets it into Kirk. Kirk down to the corner to Skeens. Skeens trying to look for some help. Rolo comes out of nowhere, and it is blocked, and we have a whistle, and he'll go to the charity stripe for 2.
I'll tell you what, Sherman has done a fantastic job of passing out of these traps. I really didn't think they would have the ability to get their way out of trouble if they ended up in these corners. But they've done a great job of not panicking and making themselves available to the passer and the ball handler. And right there, Roller did a great job of helping out his teammate, getting himself into that middle and finding the crease.
Rolo goes to the charity stripe, misses the first one. He'll get the second one. 7:18 to go in the first half, and we're tied up at 12. Rolo's second shot is up and away, and it will bounce, and it will not go. We're still tied.
He had 14 the other night against Van, and he's definitely the catalyst of this Sherman offense.
Caleb Blevins brings the ball down the floor over to Adams. Adams back at midcourt. He gets it into Tackett, Caleb Blevins, and they get it over into the paint to Jackson Tackett. A little floater, and they'll go for two.
And there's the strong man on the inside. That time, man forced their way down low, bullied their way in there, and were able to get a successful trip that time. They need more of that.
Man's defense back brings them, puts the pressure on. Now they bounce, pass it in, and it's stolen by Jackson Tackett. He'll go down the floor. Actually, that was Austin Ball. Looked like he had an easy layup. It was off the iron. Now Sherman comes back quickly down the floor. Rollo has it in the left wing. He bounces around, looking for some help. Now he'll kick it over to Green back near midcourt. Almost stripped. However, Simpson hangs on to it for Sherman. Now Rollo kicks it back out to Simpson. Simpson goes to the far corner, and we have a reach-in foul, and that's going to go against Jeremiah Harless. That's going to be his second.
I'll tell you what, with man chasing so much on the defensive end, you also have to wonder if this keeps up and this stays close, how much does a little bit of fatigue set in, because this is exhausting having to chase this much, trying to get the ball away from Sherman. And if man can't get out to a significant lead at some point, you may see some tired legs.
Ryan Cozart checks in for Harless for the Billies. And we got another blocking foul. This time it's going to go against Austin Ball. I think their feet just got tangled up. Unfortunately, Rollo went to the floor, and man gets the whistle.
Yeah, that time I'm like you. It just looked like they kind of tripped each other up a little bit there, but they called ball on the push. And you see man getting a little frustrated at the moment. They just got to keep their cool and continue on with the way that they know how to play.
Kirk will inbound it to Rollo in the backcourt. Now to Green, back out to Rollo, out the timeline. Work their way into Kirk. Now they put it in the hands of Green. He'll bounce it around. Now they'll send it back out to Rollo. He's all the way back out at the half-court line. Here goes Kirk. He'll bounce pass it to the far wing. Now they kick it back out to Rollo. They just do not want to take any chances in taking those long shots.
Yeah, and you know, I like the idea because they're getting a lot around the rim whenever they stay this patient.
Now they get it into Simpson. Simpson goes to the ground. Oh, and it's off the side of the backboard. Rebound by Jackson Tackett. Here come the Hillbillies. Cozart has it at the left wing. Now they fire off a three by Jackson Tackett. It will be off the iron and rebound by Alex Kirk. Here comes the Sherman Tide.
And again, these long defensive possessions for man and then these quick offensive trips, that starts to wear on you mentally as this goes along. So right now, under 5 minutes to go in the first half, Sherman right here.
Now Sherman fires off a long three-pointer by A.J. Skeens, and the Hillbillies find themselves trailing 15-14 halfway through this second quarter. Man has it at the top of the key. It'll be Austin Ball. He'll put it in the hands of Adams. Adams fires across the way to Cozart. Cozart dribbles to the paint. Now he'll have to kick it back out. Payton comes up with a long three-point shot. It's going to be short. Rebound, Sherman Tide, and here come the Tide Screws.
Yeah, that was a forced three by Adams. I think he was trying to get into his body and draw the foul, but nothing whistled.
Ball knocked out of bounds on Peyton Adams as he reached around on Rollo, trying to steal the ball. No foul. Sherman will inbound in front of the Hillbilly bench.
And again, we've almost got half this quarter gone now, Joe. Again, Sherman has done just a superb job of staying patient and working these possessions.
Rollo in the backcourt gets it over to Green. Back to Rollo, down to the far corner to Simpson. Actually, they put it in the hands of Kirk. Kirk goes for the goal. It falls short, but Sherman gets the rebound, and they reset. Rollo in the backcourt. Now they find Skeens in the corner, and he'll hit another three. Wow. Back-to-back threes, and Sherman is up 18-14. Who would have thought? Man has the ball, trying to make something happen. Blevins across the way to Jordan Adams.
It looks like they're going to get a push here on Sherman from behind on that air ball. But yeah, right now, again, man just seems very flustered by the way that they've not been able to control the pace of this game. They haven't been patient on the offensive side, and they just haven't been able to turn the ball over.
Blevins fires off a three, and it'll go.
That was huge. Blevins got 7 now. And they needed something to go down to the Hillbillies right there because this gym is firmly behind them, and that was a huge three-pointer.
They absolutely needed that for momentum. Sherman still leads at 18-17. Sherman still has it. It's stolen. Comes out of nowhere is Cozart. He'll put it off the glass. And 2 points for Ron Cozart.
And again, that's fresh legs right there off the bench and a fair timeout called by Mann.
We'll take a quick 1 minute timeout as well. You're listening to Man Hillbilly Basketball on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports station and video productions.
What are we doing here?
Welcome to Peytonville. Nationwide helps protect everything you see in here, Brad. Every family, every business, even Mrs. Hoffman's dream of retiring to become a yoga instructor.
Oh, they have backstories.
Here, I got more to show you.
Kinzel Law Office is a local firm located at 36 Adams Street in Chapmanville. Rob Kinzel has been practicing law in Logan County for over 15 years and is dedicated to providing quality legal representation for personal injury, criminal defense, and family law for individuals and families throughout southern West Virginia. Call Kinzel Law Office today to set up your free consultation. Rob Kinzel, quality legal services close to home.
Welcome back to Willie Akers Arena. With 3:17 to go in the second quarter, Mann has taken the lead back from Sherman, 19-18. Sherman will inbound, bring the ball slowly down the floor. It's Rolo and Logan Green passing it back and forth. Now they get it into Kurt at the top of the key. They send it back out to Rolo on the far side. Down to Simpson in the corner. He finds, and it's overthrown. A.J. Skeens was pretty much wide open under the basket, but the bad pass, and the turnover goes to the Hillbillies.
Yeah, and he's been camping out in that left corner and on that left block, and Mann's not been able to find him because they've been busy trapping. That time, good idea, just errant pass.
Cozart fires off a three. This time it's off the further end. Rebound by Jordan Adams as they send it out to Caleb Blevins in the backcourt. He'll dribble to the right wing. Now he'll hand it off to Jordan Adams. Adam takes it out the top of the key over to Cozart, back and forth. Cozart now has it. Now they put it to Austin Ball in the corner. He'll come out and take a long jumper and hit it right beside the free throw line.
And that's how fast it can happen with Mann. That's 7 quick points, and Sherman's got 2.5 minutes to get to halftime and try and keep this close. This could be danger territory for them.
Mann now in the backcourt trying to set things up. Rolo has it at the midcourt line. Finds pressure, kicks it back over to Kirk near the middle of the circle. Now they'll kick it back to Kirk. Mann really starting to put on the defensive pressure now. Kirk has it right beside the charity stripe, and he'll fire off one for two.
Well, and when it's your night, and that's 6 points for him. Big jumper there for the Tide. Oh, good look for Cozart underneath, and he finishes.
Cozart now has 4 after coming off the bench here in the second quarter. 23-20, 1:45 to go in the half. Sherman finds pressure in the backcourt. Now they get it across the way to Skeens in the far corner. Skeens goes to the paint. It'll bounce off and roll in for 2.
Man, he's so wiry and so tough to defend. He's got 10 points now in the half.
1 point game. Here comes Mann. And it's going to be rolls around. Finally, Jackson Tackett will make it go. And we're back to a 3-point game and a 3-point lead for the Hillbillies.
I love what Mann's done here with Jordan Adams and Cozart off the bench. They brought them in to chase, giving the other ones a chance to breathe a little bit and catch their breath and get their legs back under them. And they've done a great job off the bench at the top of this pressure.
Almost stolen by Blevins, but Sherman hangs on to it. Rolo trying to make something happen. Now they get it down to the corner to Simpson. Bounce pass right into the hands of Sherman. Here comes Austin Ball, and he'll stop it for 2.
And Ball's getting himself rolling now as you're the Mann section getting on their feet. They've heard enough of these other 3 teams and fans here tonight. He's got 8 points now.
40 seconds to go here in the half. Sherman loses the handle once again, and they're going to turn it over to the Billies right in front of the Billy bench.
And again, Mann has really ramped it up here. Again, I love the adjustment T.J. Blevins had. We wondered why he called timeout after they got those 5 quick points, and it was to try and get some of those fresher legs into the game, to pressure at the top of the key, and it has paid dividends here in the last 2 minutes.
Cozart brings the ball down the floor. Over to Blevins on the right wing. Now he'll go out to the charity stripe, kicks it across the way to Tackett. Tackett open in the far corner, but elects not to take it. And we have a reach-in foul on Sherman. And that will be charged against number 3, Logan Green. That'll be his first personal.
Actually, they got Skeens on that. That's going to be his second.
Okay.
But probably a good foul because it looked like that ball was able to get by him there and would have had a pretty easy finish at the rim.
16 seconds. Mann's going to hold it for one shot as Ryan Kozart brings it back out to near midcourt. Austin Ball comes out. Now they bring out Tackett. They'll spread it out a little bit. They find Austin Ball. He'll go with a little floater, and he'll put 2 points on the board. He has 6 here in the second quarter alone, and that's the buzzer to end the first half of play. And the Hillbillies not out of the woods yet as they lead this one at the half by a score of 29-22 over the Sherman Tide. We'll take a 2-minute break. We'll be back with more of our coverage here at halftime from Willie Akers Arena. The Man Hillbillies 29, the Sherman Tide 22. You're listening and watching Man Hillbilly Basketball on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports station and video productions.
GM Superstore is your full-service Buick, Chevy, and GMC dealer. Go Thornhill and expect the best with total value, service, and pricing on your next ride. Home of the Thornhill 10120. You'll get total support with Thornhill GM Superstore.
Kinzel Law Office is a local firm located at 36 Adams Street in Chapmanville. Rob Kinzel has been practicing law in Logan County for over 15 years and is dedicated to providing quality legal representation for personal injury, criminal defense, and family law for individuals and families throughout southern West Virginia. Call Kinzel Law Office today to set up your free consultation. Rob Kinzel, quality legal services close to home.
Peyton, what are we doing here?
Welcome to Peytonville. Nationwide helps protect everything you see in here, Brad. Every family, every business, even Mrs. Hoffman's dream of retiring to become a yoga instructor.
Oh, they have backstories.
Here, I got more to show you.
You can breathe easier at Boone Memorial Hospital, now with pulmonologist Dr. Richard McNeely. Come see us if you have concerns about your breathing issues.
Boone Memorial Hospital, bringing medicine home.
We are at the half at Willie Akers Arena where the Man Hillbillies, the number 1 seed and the number 1 ranked team in Class AA, leads the unranked Sherman Tide by a score of 29-22. Sherman was the number 4 seed. They knocked off the number 5 seed Van Bulldogs on Saturday night to earn the opportunity to play tonight to take on the number 1 seed. But Sherman has come out and slowed the pace of the ball game down, and they've hung right in there with this highly explosive offensive attack of the Man Hillbillies.
Yeah, it was a very smart game plan by Coach Pauly and his group. Again, I was curious if they would be able to have an opportunity to run and gun with them. Obviously, with that game last week, they found out very quickly that that was a no-go, and that was something they've obviously worked on even prior to the Van game on Saturday night. And it did seem like it took Man by surprise, and I was surprised that Man wasn't able to turn them over more there at the beginning of the half. But then in the last 4 minutes, they started to assert themselves again. Sherman got up 18-14, and after that 18-14 stretch where this place was going nuts, it was a 15-4 run by the Hillbillies to close out the half, and it just goes to show how quick this Man Hillbilly team can flip the switch and turn things around on you. And the opening minutes of the second half are going to be key, because if Man gets this into double figures, then Sherman's going to have to come out of that holding cell and be able to try and get up and down with Man. So one way for them, they've got to try and extend this lead if you're Man. Sherman's got to find a way to keep this anywhere between 8 and 4 in this third quarter.
You know, looking back at the points scored in the game a week ago up at Man, the Hillbillies led 57-30 at the half. This is a much different ball game tonight, obviously, with the way the Sherman Tide is playing. Even though Sherman's played it down, and like you were talking about, you know, the defensive change up by Man, Sherman got a little rattled there toward the end of the second quarter, but up to that point, they were pretty cool, calm, cool, and collected.
Yeah, and that was the adjustment T.J. Blevins made. You know, I mean, it's common knowledge there. I mean, as in shape as these Hillbillies are, I mean, there's only so much you can chase like that and trap without getting tired, and you could see it on the offensive end. You know, they were taking quick shots, having some tough jumpers coming up short the entire time, and then once they put the fresh legs out there with Cozart and Adams, it did change the complexion of the way that half ended.
Let's take a look at some stats from the first half. Sherman shooting 65%. Of course, they're not taking a lot of shots. They're making sure that they're open for what they're taking. They're 9 from 14 from the floor. And over on the other side of the ball, man, Hillbillies shooting 57%. They are 13 from 23. In the three-point range, Sherman 2 for 2, and the Hillbillies are 2 for 7. Rebounds, Sherman has actually out-rebounded the Hillbillies on the boards 8-6. Free throws, Sherman shooting 50%. They're 2 for 4. Man 1 for 3 for 33%. But here's the kicker right here, turnovers. Sherman has 10 turnovers in the first half compared to Man's 3.
Yeah, and I think 4 of them came there in those last few minutes of the half. Before then, I mean, if you'd have told Coach Pauley you're going to have 6 turnovers through about a quarter and a half with this pressure defense, I think he would have absolutely taken that. And just there at the end, things started to come apart a little bit, but they're still right here in striking distance at 7 points. They've just got to catch their legs and be able to come out strong in the third quarter and keep this game tight.
Let's go ahead and take a look at scoring from the first half. First of all, we'll take a look at the Sherman Tide. Dalton Rollo has 4. Alex Kirk has 6. A.J. Skeens has 10, but those 2 3-point shots he hit there in the second quarter was key to keeping Sherman in this ball game. Andrew Simpson, the freshman, has 4. On the other side of the ball for the Man Hillbillies, Jeremiah Harless come off the bench. He has a free throw. Ryan Cozart come off the bench. He's got 2 baskets here for 4 points. Austin Ball has 10 points. 4 of those coming in the first quarter, 6 in the second. Caleb Blevins has 7 points with that 3-point bucket there in the second quarter, and Jackson Tackett, who hit the first 3 of the ball game, has 7 points for the Man Hillbillies. So at the half, the score, the Man Hillbillies 29, the Sherman Tide 22. We'll go ahead and take our other 2-minute break. We'll be back with more from Willie Akers Arena. The score at the half, the Man Hillbillies 29, Sherman Tide 22. You're listening and watching Man Hillbilly Basketball on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports station and video productions.
Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services, founded in 1975 by Riley Joe Evans, is a full-service funeral provider, and 2020 makes it 45 years of offering services that respect all faiths, personal preferences, and financial considerations. They're the only funeral home in Boone, Lincoln, and Logan with its own crematory. Contact Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 304-855-3232 or visit www.evans-funeral-home.com or like Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services on Facebook to see their updated obituary information.
You can breathe easier at Boone Memorial Hospital, now with pulmonologist Dr. Richard McNeely. Come see us if you have concerns about your breathing issues.
Boone Memorial Hospital, bringing medicine home.
With all that's going on, Mullen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling wants to remind our neighbors we're here for you. We're taking extra precautions to protect you and our employees. Right now, we're offering 6-month no-interest financing to help you stay comfortable throughout this crisis. Our superior indoor air filtration options will keep viruses, bacteria, and allergens down, increasing indoor air quality, comfort, and safety. Call us today and see how we can help you. Mullen, we're comfortable when you are.
Peyton, what are we doing here?
Welcome to Peytonville. Nationwide helps protect everything you see in here, Brad. Every family, every business, even Mrs. Hoffman's dream of retiring to become a yoga instructor.
Oh, they have backstories.
Here, I got more to show you.
This is Boone Memorial Hospital, compassionate personal quality care that's close to home, with caring skilled physicians and large private inpatient rooms.
Boone Memorial Hospital, bringing medicine home.
Welcome back to Willie Akers Arena on the island here in Logan at the campus of Logan High School. The Man Hillbillies lead the Sherman Tide by a score of 29-22 here at the half. And then maybe what a lot of fans might be a little surprising, but Sherman has definitely come out and played a pretty decent basketball. Austin Ball has 10 points, a rebound, and a key block shot here in the first half of play.
It's now time, Joe, to look at our Logan Regional Medical Center keys to the second half for both these clubs. And again, if you're Sherman, you got to limit the turnovers, got to still maintain the pace of this ball game the way that it's been, and not allow man to start getting up and down the floor for the Hillbillies. Again, if you get the open look from three, take it. I mean, they're a good outside shooting team. They have been all year long. And I still think you want to try and pound the ball down low where you get the opportunities with Austin Ball and really make Sherman have to deal with your physicality down there. So those are your Logan Regional Medical Center keys to the second half. And the key to your health care is with Logan Regional Medical Center, offering care for every stage of life from the Women's Center to pediatrics and primary care physicians. Logan Regional Medical Center, always here for you.
Coming up after this game tonight, Chris will have a call of the 9-3 Tulsa Rebels, the number 3 seed, taking on the 9-2 number 2 seed, Tug Valley. That'll be an exciting basketball game in its own right. We're ready to get this second half of action underway as Sherman, the possession arrow is pointed in their direction, and they will inbound as they will go from our left to right. Sherman inbounds it into the backcourt to Green. Green sends it over to Rolo, and they're going to do the same. They're going to keep that game plan intact. Rolo gets some pressure from Peyton Adams, and a reach-in foul is going to be called against Adams.
And at first it looked like man was just going to hang back and maybe let them hold the ball, and I was thinking, well, 7-point lead here. I guess they're going to make Sherman come to them in this spot, but then all of a sudden they did creep out there and start applying pressure.
But Sherman's going to have to take some open shots instead of trying to just totally kill the clock. They'll bounce pass it into Kirk, send it over to Rolo in the wing, and he'll come back out. He finds double pressure. Now they get it over to Green. Green takes a couple of dribbles, and they get it back to Rolo. Rolo's in some trouble. Now they get it back to Kirk. Now they find down in the corner. They get it under the basket, and they're going to overshoot it by Kirk, and a whistle. And Ryan Cozart is going to be charged with this one.
And again, the reason why Sherman's been able to get so many offensive boards tonight is man's chasing all over the court, and thus whenever the shots miss, they're right in position.
On the inbound, Caleb Blevins steals the ball, and he is whistled as he goes to the basket. Kind of a side shot, you might say, just to try to get it off.
Yeah, and again, Blevins that time read that inbounds pass. It was dangerous from the get-go. They tried to fire it in deep into the backcourt that time, and Blevins was all over it, and he was in better position to catch that inbounds pass than was Sherman.
That foul's charged against Logan Green of Sherman. That'll be his first as Blevins goes to the charity stripe to shoot one. Here's that inbound pass on the Video Productions instant replay. And Blevins just read that one perfectly right in the right spot. He knew he was going to get fouled, so he just put the ball up there, and Blevins picks up the second shot as well.
So he's got 9 points now in the game, and the lead creeping towards double digits for the first time. This is definitely danger territory if you're the Tide.
Kirk and Rolo, now they get it across the timeline, back to Green. Now they fire it down to the corner of Skeens, under the basket. Now they get it, wide open shot. It'll go for Alex Kirk.
And that was much needed right there. That was better quick passing out of those double teams there by Sherman to find the open man.
Kind of helps stops the bleeding. Caleb Blevins thought about taking a three-point shot. He puts one up. He feels like he's fouled. He goes over to the official, but no whistle, and Sherman gets the rebound. Here comes the Tide. Down the floor to Green. Green will stop it in the backcourt. Bounce pass over to Rolo into Kirk. Kirk at the top of the key, and it's stolen by the Hillbillies.
Tackett got his hands on that one. Now here's Skeens.
Skeens come out of nowhere from behind Blevins and steals the ball over in the corner. They had a wide open shot from Kincaid, but he sends it back out to the backcourt for Green to set up something. Here goes a three-point attempt by Skeens for Sherman. This time it will not go, and we have a whistle on the floor.
And that one's going to be a foul on Kirk. That was great positioning there by Jackson Tackett. He beat Kirk to that spot. Kirk tried to reach around to get that offensive board, but Tackett was there in plenty of time, and a nice job by him drawing the foul.
Cozart will inbound it to Blevins. Blevins in the backcourt. He'll just easily hand it off to Adams. Adams gets it back down to Cozart in the right wing. Now they go to the corner to Tackett, bring it back out. Ryan Cozart wide open in the right wing. Now Caleb Blevins unloads from the left wing, and he'll score 3.
And he's been the big man from the outside all year long. He's up to a dozen, and now this lead has crept to 10.
Rolo sends it down to the corner. Bounce pass into the paint. Now they try to bounce pass it over to Wyatt Kincaid, and he's too far ahead of the ball. The ball goes out of bounds. Turnover goes to the Hillbillies.
And you can see this pressure has really started to wear on the Sherman Tide. Again, they've done such a great job for a little over 2 quarters now at maintaining this as a ball game, but now that the lead's getting away a little bit, you can start to sense some panic from the Tide.
Man working the ball around the horn. Now they go to Cozart down in the far corner. Now they kick it back out to Tackett. Over to the near side to Blevins. Blevins goes around to the top of the key, shoots it under the basket, and it's a wide open, easy 2 points for Jackson Tackett as he puts it off the glass for the Hillbillies.
And what a one-handed pass there by Blevins. That was a laser down low to Tackett for that lay-in.
Almost stolen and a whistle. And it looks like this one's going to be charged against to Jackson Tackett. That'll be his second.
And Coach Blevins wasn't happy with him there. I don't think he wanted to play that gamble. Again, they've got the lead up to 12. See what Sherman's going to continue to do right now.
Not sure they called the foul. I think he just deflected it out of bounds. Sherman has the ball, just working the ball around the horn. Rolo has it at the right wing. Now they kick it to the Kincaid in the corner, and they're going to say he traveled with the ball as he tried to move toward the paint. Turnover goes to Man. Here's the Southern West Virginia Health Systems instant replay. Blevins on that pass under the basket, and a quick 2 for the Billies.
And again, right now the turnovers continuing to pile up for Sherman, and they're going to have to probably break out of this stall tactic pretty soon with this lead up to 12 and the fact that Hillbillies are really starting to turn them over.
Blevins backs, looked like he was going to drive the paint, sends it back out to Cozart. Now they get it around the horn down to the corner to Tackett. Tackett's pass off the back of the iron. Rebound by Sherman's Alex Kirk. Here come the Tide. Down to the far corner. A.J. Skeens fires off a 3 off the side of the iron. Rebound by Austin Ball. Here comes the Billies. He thought about it, but he'll send it back outside. Caleb Blevins fires off a 3, and it'll go. How quickly can things change here in a basketball game?
Again, it's a 25-6 run ever since Sherman led 18-14, and this Hillbilly club showing why they've been number 1 in Class A virtually all year.
Skeens has it, and it's another turnover and a whistle. The ball went out of bounds. Yeah. And they're going to say the ball's going to stay with Sherman.
Yeah, Adams' foot was still on the out-of-bounds line whenever he got control of it. That was a good catch by the official that time. It was a good defensive play by the Hillbillies, but Adams just hadn't gotten his back foot off the line.
Kirk bounds it to the backcourt. This time, Green back there all alone. Kirk thought about shooting. Now he kicks it back out across the way to Rolo, now on the far side of the floor. Rolo backs it back out. They bring Kincaid back out with Rolo. Now they'll bring out Green. Rolo, he'll bounce. For a 3-point attempt from the far corner off the back of the iron by Skeens. Rebound, Caleb Blevins for the Billies. Blevins gets it over to Tackett, and they're going to say Tackett traveled.
I don't know about that.
I don't either. It looked like to me he was stopped dead, but the official's right there. So turnover goes to Sherman.
And again, Skeens has had a tough go from the outside here in the third quarter, and he knocked down the 2 threes in the first half, but he hasn't been able to set his feet on any of these second half threes.
Here's the Logan Regional replay. As you could see, his foot did move, his right foot, just enough. Now we have a stop ball. I guess they're going to get Blevins on a kickball.
Yeah, that was kicked around between 2 or 3 of them that time.
Soccer on the floor. Yeah. Sherman will inbound at midcourt. Now they'll take it pretty deep back in the man side of the floor. Now they bring it across. Down to the corner to Kincaid. Kincaid fires off a jumper, but they're saying he traveled once again.
And again, the officials have started to call that pretty freely here in the third quarter. Again, if you shuffle your feet or you're moving that pivot foot a little bit, they're going to get you on it. So they've been consistent on that both ways here this period.
Man will inbound it. They'll go the full length of the floor. Blevins brings it across the timeline. Blevins still bouncing the ball around near the top of the key. He'll take off a 3, and it'll go. Nothing but net. Wow, Caleb Blevins. He's got 3 threes in a row in this third quarter.
Yeah, that's 4 for the game for him, and when he gets hot like this, there's not many ways to stop him.
Stolen ball. Here comes Blevins. He's going to go, and he tried to set up the ball to stuff it, and it bounced actually off the rim and it kind of bounced around, finally goes out of bounds, and they're going to say it's off man, and it'll be Sherman Tide basketball.
I think Sherman's going to get a timeout here. Coach Pauly, he sees this game getting away from him. It'll be a full timeout.
And we'll take a full timeout as well. 2:41 to go in the third quarter. Man leads this one by a score of 42-24. You're watching and listening. Man Hillbilly basketball on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports station and video productions.
Do you need to see a doctor fast? At Logan Regional Medical Center Primary Care Walk-In Clinic, we know your time is valuable. Our new facility is designed to provide patients with the opportunity to walk in and quickly be seen by the doctor without having to make an appointment. We are open Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. at 384 Airport Road in Chapmanville. For more information, please call 304-239-8090.
Arena as Sherman inbounded the ball, and they're going to say they were back and forth across the timeline. Turnover goes to the Hillbillies. Man leads this one 42-24, 2:33 to go in the third quarter. Man will inbound it to Peyton Adams. Adams sends it over across the way. Now Jeremiah Harless has in the corner. Three-point attempt by Christian Toller. It'll be off the iron. Rebound, Dalton Rollo for Sherman.
Again,
good. Now, I thought they were going to take a shot. Simpson sends it back out. Rollo in some trouble. Now they find a man wide open under the basket off the glass, and that will be Cameron Caldwell for his first points of the ball game as he just checks in for Sherman.
He had 10 the other night against Van. He had a nice game.
Adams has it. He thought about taking a three, goes to the charity stripe, picks it across the way to Harless. Harless will fire off a three, and it's nothing but net. When you're hot, and the Man Hillbillies are hot from three-point land here in the third.
That's why I said you can only hope to contain this team. I mean, my goodness, holding the ball the whole half, and now they've come out just lights out.
Sherman fires off a three across the way. This one hits Caldwell off the bench. He's got 5 in a row after that three-pointer.
I think they had his foot on the line, they said.
Down to the corner now. Another three-point shot by Christian Toller. This time his shot will go. Man up to a 48-28, 20-point lead here with just over a minute to go in the third quarter. Here goes Sherman. Kirk bounce passes it over to Caldwell. Caldwell was bumped, and it looked like he was going to be fouled, but no whistle. The official standing right there. And on the rebound, the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Man Hillbilly basketball.
Yeah, I think he was spooked by Toller there. He was creeping over, and he tried to get that shot off a little quicker than he wanted to, and ended up throwing it a little too high off the glass.
Bringing the ball down the floor is Jordan Adams for Man. Kicks it over across the way to Harless. Harless looking for some help. Blevins gets it. He'll take a little floater from the free throw line and add 2 more points to Caleb Blevins' total.
That's 13 this quarter for him, 20 for the game. He has just been red hot.
Caldwell into Kirk. Under the basket is Simpson. He looked like he had a wide open shot, but he couldn't find the handle. Sherman has to bring the ball back out and reset. And it's off the foot of one of the players, and Man comes up with it. Blevins is stripped from behind. Here comes Simpson. He'll bounce, pass it over to Rollo. Rollo can't make anything happen. Now they shoot it back across the way to Simpson on the near side in the corner. Caldwell thought about firing off. Well, it's partially deflected by Blevins. Bounce pass and attempt to Simpson. Simpson's not looking, goes out of bounds. Turnover to the Hillbillies.
Yeah, again, Sherman's just been sped up so much here in this third quarter, and the turnovers have just started to pile up on their end.
Here comes Man coming down the floor with the ball is Jordan Adams. Blevins kind of bobbles it, but he comes up with it. He fires off a long three. It looked like a second. It might be close, but he overshoots the rim.
I thought it was going.
I wouldn't surprise me none. We're at the end of the third quarter play. The score, the Man Hillbillies 50, the Sherman Tide 28. You're listening and watching Man Hillbilly Basketball on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports station and video productions.
Regrets. If only she'd parked in a garage. If only they had the chimney cleaned. If only they had Erie Insurance. Erie is seriously good insurance that treats you fairly and goes above and beyond to make you feel like your auto or home mishap never happened, at rates that'll save you as much as the other guys. So get a quote from Erie today. Because whatever your regrets in life, your insurance company shouldn't be one of them.
What's his face? Caldwell had his foot on the line.
Okay, it was on you too.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Willie Akers Arena at the end of 3 quarters of play. Man easily now in control, 50-28 after only leading by 5 at the half. Man will inbound it to get things started. Jordan Adams with control of the ball. Now they get it over to Christian Toller. Blevins gets his hands on it as Jeremiah Harless goes to the basket. And a blocking foul on Sherman. And I believe that's going to be charged against Rolo.
Yes, again, right now, 22-point lead after it was a 7-point game at halftime. Again, this Man Hillbilly club just able to open things up. It all started there with about 3 minutes left in the first half whenever Sherman had the momentum, and Coach Blevins switching out a couple of guards that helped turn this game around, and man just hasn't looked back, and they really did a good job of keeping their wits about them whenever this entire gym, basically, except for their parents and their fans, were against them.
Yeah, really. Jeremiah Harless at the charity stripe, hits the first one, and he'll miss the second one. It's off the side of the iron. Rebound, Sherman's trying to, looks like maybe speeding things up just a little bit over to the near side to Caldwell. Now they'll send it across the way to Simpson, down to the corner to Rolo. Rolo just can't find. Now he works his way around, and it was blocked by Jeremiah Harless, but they're going to get him on a personal. And that'll be his third personal.
And so again, Harless, he's an aggressive defender, so not surprising that he'll get up to around 3-4 fouls in a ball game right there. But now Rolo, he's not been able to get much going offensively tonight, as man is really keyed on him.
Yeah, they have held him to 4 points, now 5 as he makes the first free throw. And it looks like checking in for the Hillbillies will be Hunter Anderson. Rolo, second shot, takes a couple dribbles. It's up, and it is good after bouncing off the iron about 3 times. 51-30. Man easily in control, 21 points. Here comes Man. Now they'll kick it across the way to Blevins. Blevins shoots it all the way across the floor to Christian Toller. Now they try to get it into Anderson. Anderson a little trouble, but he'll kick it back out to Adams. Now Caleb Blevins fires off a 3. It's going to be a little short rebound under the basket by Man's Hunter Anderson, and then he's fouled as he tries to go back up and put it in.
Well, with Blevins, that's going to be a Derek Wittenberg, hey, that was a pass shot, right?
But he's going to the free throw line to shoot 2. His first one is up, and it's good for his first point of the ball game.
And again, Anderson, a 6'1 senior, he's another one that can come off the bench and really ignite this club. That's the thing, whenever you got someone like Anderson, he can come in and on any given night get 10, 12 points along with Tackett and others. I said it makes this Man Hillbilly team so much more difficult to defend.
He'll miss it. Rolo will come up with the rebound. He'll bring it down the floor on his own. Now they kick it across the way to Simpson. Simpson finds trouble. Now they bounce pass, and it is going to be stolen by the Tide. Here comes Peyton Adams. Oh, I don't know what. Adams, he was trying to set Austin Ball up for a dunk. Now Adams gets the ball and fires a long jumper from the right corner for 2.
I knew he was going to try a lob of some sort there to Ball, but that was a great job getting it back and finishing the 3.
And Kirk gets about a 10-foot jumper for Sherman and comes right back and scores 2 more.
So he's had a nice evening, as you said, with 10 points tonight. He's had 2 good games here in this tournament thus far. Like I said, he hit 3 threes in the first quarter on Saturday night against Van that really just put that game in dire straits for the Bulldogs right away, and he's come back strong again here tonight.
Caleb Blevins fires off another 3, this time left corner. It will not go. Rebound Sherman. Here comes the Tide, and he almost stolen the ball. At Blevins, that is, but it goes out of bounds. It'll be Sherman basketball.
And again, the air came out of the balloon there in the start of the third quarter for a lot of this crowd. But again, stay with us after this because we're going to have a huge matchup between Tug Valley and Tulsa.
Sherman wants to take a full timeout. We'll take a 1-minute break as well. 6:09 to go to the ball game. Sherman trails the Man Hillbillies by a score of 55-32. You're listening and watching Man Hillbilly basketball.
Service. You get a firm that's concerned about you, your family, as well as the legal process.
We combine the newest technology and digital tools
with our 35 years of experience to help you get more than the insurance company wants to offer.
Traditional service,
contemporary techniques. It'll never go out of style.
Call 346-5990.
Steve, is that your car?
No, it's a rental.
Did you know when you send or receive a text message, you take your eyes off the road for 5 seconds? At 55 miles per hour, that's like driving more than the length of a football field blindfolded. As a result, thousands of people die every year in crashes related to distracted driving. That's why we're cracking down on people who text or use their smartphones while driving. We would rather you cross the goal line alive. Law enforcement officers write tickets to save lives. Don't text and drive.
Back in action, Sherman just inbound the ball, and a bad bounce by Caldwell, and it'll bounce the wrong direction out of bounds. Turnover goes to Man.
Yeah, again, the Hillbillies look like they're well on their way to the sectional championship. And the good thing, once you reach sectional championship, you're guaranteed a regional chance. So whoever even loses on Thursday night still gets a regional championship game. It's just a matter of if it's at home or on the road.
Peyton Adams at the top of the key, fires it over to the near side of Christian Toller. He'll unload one. It'll be off the iron. Rebound, Hunter Anderson as he goes up. He is drilled, and it looks like that foul will be charged against Sherman's Alex Kirk.
Yeah, he came over to let Tackett know that or Anderson know that he didn't try and hit him that hard on purpose or anything. He was going after the ball, so again, good sportsmanship on both ends, and I think a lot of respect between these two clubs, especially after the way that first half was played.
And Anderson's first attempt on this go-round, he hits it. He's now 2 for 3 from the charity stripe here in the ball game.
And again, if your Man, see how much longer they stay with a lot of their starters here with 5:46 left. Again, don't have to play until Thursday, so they'll get a couple days off here, but definitely want to make sure you don't have any injuries.
He'll make it 3 for 4 as he hits it second one as well. Sherman going, looked like coast to coast. Now Rolo will get a jumper. It'll be off the front of the iron. Anderson comes up the rebound. Here comes the Hillbillies. Christian Toller down the floor to Adams, back to Toller, across the way to Caleb Blevins. Blevins on a little floater off the glass, will not go. Rebound will be Sherman's Logan Green. Now Sherman brings the ball down the floor quickly. And it's stolen by Caleb Blevins. He's 1-on-1, and it will not go. He tried to put kind of a hard layup in there, and it bounced off the iron. Sherman has it. Rolo with a little short jumper off the back of the iron, and he'll go to the charity stripe to shoot 2.
Yeah, I think Blevins was trying to go for the slam on that one and just didn't quite get enough air underneath him that time. Just saw T.J. Blevins kind of lean back in his chair and went to go get someone from the bench there. Don't think he's upset at Blevins at all, but at the same time, there's that father-son relationship.
Exactly. You know better than that. Rolo's first shot is up and good. He is, he's actually now 3 for 5 from the charity stripe tonight. Get some more substitutions in. Coming in for Man will be James Seitz.
And you start to see Coach Blevins getting some of his big men out and some of his starters out at this point.
Rolo's second shot is up, and it's no good. It'll bounce twice off the iron. Rebound goes to Hillbillies. Toller brings the ball down the floor. Now they'll set it, sends it across the way. Toller has it now in the backcourt. Kirk goes a little aggressive. Now they get it to Seitz, back to Peyton Adams. Adams fires it across the way, and they'll take a three-point attempt, and it will go for Christian Toller. That's his second 3 of the ball game.
And now I guess the biggest drama is left is will they score above 63 points? That's the lowest they've scored all year. It looks like they're going to get there even with the stall tactics tonight.
It'll be Peyton Adams charged against the foul. On the foul. That'll be his second personal, and he'll check out of the lineup. as coming in for him will be Jordan Adams. Sherman inbounds. They'll get it out to the backcourt. Now they'll get it to Kirk. Kirk in the right wing. Now he'll take it back out to the top of the key, brings it back to Green. Green steps back toward midcourt, and a lot of pressure being on. Don't know how they found the handle on it. Now they lose the handle. Man has it. It'll be Jordan Adams now. He'll lose the ball. It's just kind of a free-for-all out there now.
Yeah, and you got to love the hustle from this Sherman club still. I mean, now down by 27 points after looking like they might be able to hang in for a while, but they've not given up at all in this contest, and that's a big credit to Coach Pauly and his staff.
Sherman inbounds it. They'll send it to the backcourt to set things up. It'll be Jordan Adams in control, along with James Seitz. Seitz goes to the paint, kicks it back over the way, and we're going to say we've got looks like we're going to charge him with the offensive foul. Yep.
Yeah, we're going to say Seitz continued his momentum on the way in, and Sherman was able to hang in and take the charge on that possession. So they still got 4:02 left in this game, but the outcome already decided, and now everyone just starting to see more of the Tulsa and Tug Valley fans filtering in. And again, that game will start at 8 p.m. tonight.
And there's no love lost between those two teams either.
No. So that's why it's going to be interesting.
Absolutely. Rolo has it over on the far wing. Now they bounce pass it in, and it's going to be overshot by Sherman's number 33. Jacob Welch. Welch just checking in the lineup. He's a 5'10 junior, and he's going to go to the free throw line to shoot two.
Yeah, and he started the other night against Van in that sectional quarterfinal game. He had 5 points in it, and he did a great job on the boards the other night against Van, keeping a lot of possessions alive.
First shot is off the back of the iron, will not go. He'll get his second attempt. Score with 3:46 to go in the game. Man in control, 60-33. Still 60-33 after the missed free throw. Man brings the ball down the floor. It will be Jeremiah Harless across the timeline. Gets it over to Jordan Adams. Adams to back to the near side to Seitz. Seitz will put the ball on the floor. Now a three-point attempt by Christian Toller will not go. Rebound Sherman. Sherman has the ball on the near side of the floor. Bounce pass into Kirk, and his little shot off the glass will not go. Here comes the Man Hillbillies. Man goes around the horn. They'll send it across the way to Harless. They tried to get it into Anderson, intercepted by Sherman.
Yeah, it was a good job by Welch fronting Anderson that time, being able to deflect that pass away.
Over to the corner, and he'll fire off a three. It is short. That is A.J. Skeens. Rebound, Hillbillies. Bringing the ball down the floor, wasting no time. Whoop, and a little hop, skip, and a jump there.
Oh, they got a block on that instead. He got bailed out a little bit.
That was Jordan Adams. It looked like he was playing a little hopscotch here, and he may have been bumped, and that's when he kind of hopped. But it's going to be Anderson going to the free throw line for the Hillbillies.
And so, again, he's going to try and add to his total. He's definitely gotten his free throw work in here in the fourth quarter.
That's his fifth shot. He is now 4 for 5. Now we got a Travis Cooper checking in for the Sherman Tide.
And you see some of the hugs on the bench with Dalton Rolo and some of the others. Again, after the effort they put in the first half, they deserve a lot of credit. Again, this Man Hillbilly team is just too much to handle, and nothing to be hanging your head about if you're Sherman after tonight's effort.
Anderson hit his second free throw. Sherman now has the ball. And at this point in the season, you lose, you're done. Three-point attempt here by Sherman, and it'll go by Alex Kirk. And it'll be his first three-pointer of the ball game.
He's got 13 now, so he's had himself a nice game this evening.
Down in the corners, Christian Toller. He'll fire off a three, and it is nothing from net. And, I mean, he was right up against the sideline.
And Toller, he's someone that comes off the bench, and he can provide this type of three-point barrage as well. I mean, he's just another weapon this Hillbilly team has that goes very deep.
Kirk will go into the paint. Off the back of the iron will not go. Ball still loose. Cooper comes up with it. He fires off a three off the back of the iron. Rebound, Christian Toller from Man.
And Cooper had a nice game the other night in the minutes he played. Did a good job saving some possessions and getting a few buckets in its own right.
Now in the backcourt, Jordan Adams will set things up for the Hillbillies. He'll drive into the paint. He'll bounce past it, and we're going to get a blocking foul on Sherman. And immediately coming out there is Welch, who will be charged with the foul, letting him know that definitely was nothing intentional there. There's a lot of good sportsmanship being shown in this ball game tonight by both teams.
Yeah, and again, that's what you want to see come tournament time, even whenever it is your season on the line. But again, just to give people some perspective, as first free throw missed by Adams, on how tough this Hillbilly team is offensively. They've scored 70 or more points 7 times this year. They've scored 80 or more points 5 times this year, 90 points 4 times this year, and 105 points in their last regular season game.
Jordan Adams picks up his first point of the ball game. He hit his second free throw. Sherman down the floor, off the glass, and 2 more for Kirk.
Yeah, that was a nice ball fake there. He faked the pass to the three-point line and took it in for the layup.
Man quickly gets the ball down the floor. Now they pass around and fires off a three-point attempt by Jacob Walls, who's checked in for the Hillbillies. It will not go, and Travis Cooper comes up the rebound for Sherman. Here comes the Tide. Wyatt Kincaid bringing the ball down the floor at the top of the key, shoots it over to Cooper. Cooper back across the way. And intercepted over there by Jordan Adams. He knew he was in trouble, so he bounced it off the legs of the Sherman player.
And now it looks like Alex Kirk coming out, again a 5'9" senior for the Sherman Tide Club, and you see the standing ovation from his teammates and coaching staff, getting hugs from Coach Pauly and some of his teammates as well. And this is the hardest part right here as a senior, is whenever you know that it's all over with. And even Coach Blevins coming over to give him a handshake.
And a hug to boot. And this game continues. Fires off a three-point attempt by Seitz. It will not go. Rebound man and a whistle on the floor. He said he was standing on the out-of-bounds line, and it'll turn over to Sherman. Yeah, you got to have respect for these guys, especially, when you've, not had the best season in the world, and you come in here and you hang with the number 1 team in the state. And, it's emotional, no doubt.
Yeah, these are, no matter what sport it is that you're playing, your last game, your last match, or last whatever, these things, you know the time you put into it, the relationships you have with everyone, and it's so hard to see it come to an end.
Wyatt Kincaid checks out of the game. He's also a senior, and that's his last time being on the hardwood as a high school player as well. Sherman got a shot off, and it did not go. Mann comes up with the rebound with 28 seconds to go in this one. Mann leads at 66-38, and that could very well be our final score, as Mann just stands in the backcourt and dribbles. They're going to let the ball, they're going to hang on to it, and they're going to let time expire. The final score in this one's going to be 66-38. After the Sherman Tide hung right in there. They led it at the end of the first quarter. Then they only trailed by 7 at the half. And it's a big win for the number 1 team in the state, number 1 seed in the section. And the Man Hillbillies pull off a 66-38 win, picking up their 12th win of the season for Coach T.J. Blevin and these Man Hillbillies. We'll go ahead and step aside for a 2-minute break. We'll come back and wrap things up with our stats and statistics from tonight's ball game. Final score, Man Hillbillies 66, the Sherman Tide 38. You're listening and watching Man Hillbilly Basketball on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports station and video productions.
Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services, founded in 1975 by Riley Joe Evans, is a full-service funeral provider, and 2020 makes it 45 years of offering services that respect all faiths, personal preferences, and financial considerations. They're the only funeral home in Boone, Lincoln, and Logan with its own crematory. Contact Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 304-855-3232 or visit www.evans-funeral-home.com or like Evans Funeral Home and Cremation Services on Facebook to see their updated obituary information.
You can breathe easier at Boone Memorial Hospital, now with pulmonologist Dr. Richard McNeely. Come see us if you have concerns about your breathing issues.
Boone Memorial Hospital, bringing medicine home.
With all that's going on, Mullen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling wants to remind our neighbors we're here for you. We're taking extra precautions to protect you and our employees. Right now, we're offering 6-month no-interest financing to help you stay comfortable throughout this crisis. Our superior indoor air filtration options will keep viruses, bacteria, and allergens down, increasing indoor air quality, comfort, and safety. Call us today and see how we can help you. Mullen, we're comfortable when you are.
Peyton, what are we doing here?
Welcome to Peytonville. Nationwide helps protect everything you see in here, Brad. Every family, every business, even Mrs. Hoffman's dream of retiring to become a yoga instructor.
Oh, they have backstories.
Here, I got more to show you.
This is Boone Memorial Hospital, compassionate personal quality care that's close to home, with caring skilled physicians and large private inpatient rooms.
Boone Memorial Hospital, bringing medicine home.
Welcome back to Willie Akers Arena. The final score tonight, the Man Hillbillies knock off the Sherman Tide by a score of 66-38. Let's go ahead and take a look at the scoring in tonight's game. First of all, let's take a look at the Sherman Tide. Their scoring was led by senior Alex Kirk with 15. Dalton Rollo picks up 7. Cameron Caldwell come off the bench for 4. A.J. Skeens had a nice game. He had 10 points in the first half, and that was his total for the ball game. Andrew Simpson scored 2 for 38 points. On the other side of the ball, for the Man Hillbillies, all scoring was led by 6'4" junior Caleb Blevins with 20. Also in double figures was Austin Ball. Other scoring, Peyton Adams had 2. Jeremiah Harless had 4. Ryan Kozart comes off the bench with 4. Christian Toller comes off the bench with 9 points, all 9 of those from outside the arc for 3-pointers. Jason Tackett had 9 points. Jordan Adams comes off the bench with a point, and Hunter Anderson come off the bench, had 5 points, all 5 of those from the charity stripe. So now the season's over for the Sherman Tide, and Coach T.J. Blevins, I'm sure, will go in, do a little bit of celebrating, and they'll come out and watch this game number 2 on tap tonight between Tug Valley and Tulsa. The winner of that game will be their opponent on Thursday night.
And again, Man won both those games in the regular season very handily against Tug Valley and Tulsa, so they're going to be the prohibitive favorites. But again, this game's so important for those two clubs because the winner not only gets a sectional championship opportunity, but they'll at least get a chance to play for a regional championship as well. So whoever loses on Thursday, season isn't over, but whoever loses tonight, season is over. And just a reminder before we step aside for a break between games here, this game has been brought to you in part by Nationwide Insurance Agent Greg Dalton, who is a proud supporter of Man Hillbilly Athletics and the community of Logan County. For auto, home, life, and business insurance, call the Greg Dalton Agency at 304-752-8300. Greg Dalton Insurance, with offices on Main Street in Logan and Main Street in Chapmanville. For all your sides, there is Nationwide. This is WVOW Logan.
As we said for Sherman, they'll end the season at 6 wins, 5 losses, and they come in as the number 4 seed in this Class A Region 4 Section 1 sectional game. Man advances to the title sectional game on Thursday night, come in as the number 1 seed, obviously, and the number 1 ranked single A team in the state of West Virginia. So T.J. Blevins trying to keep his team all pumped up for that game coming up here on Thursday. Taking a look at the stats from tonight's ball game. From the floor, Sherman shoots 47%. They were 15 for 32. Man Hillbillies, they were 23 for 45, shooting 51%. From three-point land, it was 4 for 10 for Sherman at 40%, 10 for 23, 43% for the Hillbillies. Rebounds, and surprisingly, even though they may have been shorter on the floor, they were higher on the rebounds. Sherman had 18 rebounds compared to Man's 16. At the charity stripe, Sherman was 50%, 5 for 10. Hillbillies took advantage of that. They were 10 for 15 for 66%. The kicker in the game, and this was the same thing in the first half, Sherman had 22 turnovers compared to Man's 8, and that was, I think a lot of it was accredited to that defense that Coach Blevins kind of turned up the wick on there in the second quarter.
Yeah, again, it was a smart move by him going to those 2 guards near the end of the first half, being able to really cause a lot of problems for them, and ended up building a 7-point halftime lead, and they never looked back.
Our Boone Memorial Hospital player of the game will go to Man's Caleb Blevins, scoring 20 points, 4 for 9 from three-point land. He had 4 steals in the ball game as well. So congratulations to Caleb Blevins. Also got to give a shout-out to Alex Kirk for Sherman. He had 15 points in his final game as a senior for that Sherman Tide team. So congratulations to Alex Kirk, and, of course, Caleb Blevins for our Boone Memorial Hospital Player of the Game.
Now, again, just stay with us. Again, we'll step aside for a break here on WVOW and Video Productions. And in about 7:50 p.m., we'll be back with myself and Nathan Bush for the pregame show of Tug Valley and Tulsa. Again, Joe will be with you on Wednesday, I believe, with the Madison radio station, and Scott versus Lincoln County, and Nathan and I will be here with Logan versus Wayne. So, we may see each other again come Friday. Again, I'm not sure where we'll be again. I may be in Chapmanville, you may be here, vice versa, who knows. But yeah, so it's going to be a wild week either way.
Exactly. And talking about Scott, now they changed things up. They've played all their regular season games at the Hawks Nest on their home court there at the high school, and they are actually going to move the venue up to the Madison Civic Center. Yeah. I talked to Coach Sean Ballard, Coach, why are you doing this? And he says 2 reasons. The capacity crowd will be a little bigger. They're going to sell 1,000 tickets for that game. And he said the floor is a little wider than they can spread out on Lincoln County. Now, Scott has already beat Lincoln County once this season by 69-39, but they were without Jace Tully, their star player. So things are going to be different come Wednesday night in Madison.
Yeah, and they had a big win over Hurricane on a last-second 3 by Tully the other night, too. So, again, that's a 4A school, I believe, in basketball. So that's going to be a Lincoln County team, very senior-laden. It's going to be a tough matchup for Scott. So that one's definitely going to be a game that I could see going down to the wire if Lincoln County's got everyone healthy.
And that game, as well as your game on Wednesday night, Logan and Wayne will both be on video production, so get your double monitors out and set one on one side, one on the other. So that's pretty much going to wrap up our coverage of this first game. Final score tonight is the Man Hillbillies knock off the Sherman Tide by a score of 66-38. And as Chris mentioned, he and Nathan Bush will be back here in about 30 minutes or so with the game number 2 tonight between Tulsa and Tug Valley to see who will play man on Thursday night here for the sectional championship. Once again, final score, man 66, Sherman Tide 38. For Chris Kidd and all the crew from Video Productions and the group back at WVOW Studios, you've been watching and listening to Man Hillbilly High School Basketball on WVOW, West Virginia's premier sports station and Video Productions.
Justin outside real quick. So, you gonna stick around?